So I spend a lot of time, literally hundreds if not thousands of hours at this point, reading the scientific literature on nutrition and skin health and gut health and the intersection between all three of them. And there are two very important things that you should know about this. One is that there is so much information out there on how the right foods can really help your skin. Now, the dogma for a long time was that your diet doesn't affect your skin. There are a few reasons for that, but it was mainly due to a couple of dodgy studies in the 60s, and we now know that that is simply not true. There is so much research that shows that every facet of what you eat has the power to impact your skin. And actually, I defy anyone who's actually reading this research to say otherwise. Point number two is that what you're eating affects your skin in both the short term and the long term. So in the short term, what you eat affects how glowy, how smooth, how clear your skin is on a day-to-day basis. And in the long term, what you eat affects how quickly your skin ages. So if you eat the right things, you actually have the power to slow down aging. Now, I know that sounds kind of wacky, but if you don't believe me, here is a line direct from the peer-reviewed research, which says that modern science has proved that an imbalance in nutrition and poor eating habits are important causes of skin aging. So what this means is that if you care about your skin at all, this is information that you want to know. From all my reading and all my working with clients on their skin, I have distilled all this information into 5 key principles that you want to keep in mind every time you eat. So a quick hello for those of you who might be watching one of my videos for the first time. My name is Fiona. I'm a registered nutritionist with a master's degree in nutritional medicine. And on this channel, we talk about nutritional skincare, which is the concept that what and how you eat can be an easy, effective part of your skincare routine. So in today's video, we're going to talk about 4 of these 5 principles. The 5th principle we'll cover in part 2 in another video for reasons that will become clear. We'll go over these 4 principles. We'll talk about how food can act like skincare from the inside out with a little bit of science thrown in, and then we will go through what this means practically, you know, when you're actually planning your meals or thinking about what to have for a snack. Let's just start with the bottom line up front. That is that every time you eat, you want to have 4 principles in mind, and that is fat, fiber, protein, and colour. Each of these food components has a really dramatic impact on your skin. So let's go through them one by one. We'll start with fat. Now, we're not talking about margarine here. We're talking about good old healthy fats, things like nuts and seeds and oily fish and extra virgin olive oil and avocado. You probably, have an awareness of them. Now, your skin loves these fats. These fats play a role in keeping your skin plump and hydrated, and they also have a really important role in dialing down inflammation in your skin at a cellular level, which keeps everything from redness and flakiness at bay. It's not surprising then that we have studies that show that eating or supplementing with the right healthy fats can help to keep acne at bay, and we also have studies that show that people who tend to eat more of these healthy fats tend to stay looking younger for longer. Now, as a society, we've kind of been trained to fear fat. Now, thankfully, that is now changing, because for the sake of your skin, you really want to be eating some healthy fat at every meal. And we'll talk about that, how that looks a bit more in practice in a bit. So moving on to fiber. Now, there's no such thing as a superfood, but I think fiber could come pretty close. Now, fiber is found in lots of whole natural foods, but particularly fruits and vegetables, pulses and legumes, which are things like chickpeas and lentils, and also whole grains. Now, we all know by now, probably, that fiber helps our gut health, and a healthy gut is essential for healthy skin. Now, newer animal research is also showing that eating fiber even plays an important role in keeping your skin barrier strong and healthy. So watch this space. But we know that we want a strong, healthy skin barrier so that our skin stays calm and unreactive. So, you could spend maybe a night in your makeup accidentally and your skin doesn't totally freak out. Now, just to keep this in perspective, we need to be eating at least 30 grams of fiber daily. But research suggests that most of us only manage about half of this. But you'll be different. After you watch this video, you will know how to make your diet really fiber rich. Moving on to protein. So protein plays a role in more or less every function in your body, but particularly in the regeneration of your skin. And protein is found in animal foods, so things like meat and poultry and fish and eggs and dairy, and also plant-based sources such as pulses and legumes and nuts and seeds and things like tofu. Now, protein is really helpful for your skin because when you eat protein as part of your meals or snacks, it helps to balance your blood sugar. And balanced blood sugar is really important for everything from keeping your skin clear to keeping it looking young. And I've done a short about this, which I'll link up there, but I will probably also do a longer video on this as well because it's such an important topic. Now, the other reason protein helps your skin is something not many people know about, and that is that it plays a really important role in supporting the acid mantle layer of your skin and also supporting the production of natural moisturizing factor, which, as the name suggests, is your skin's natural moisturizer which keeps it soft and supple. Now, looking at the list of protein-rich foods, you might have noticed that particularly with the plant-based ones, some of them cross over with some healthy fat sources and even some fiber sources. That's fine. We will talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Now, the last one is colour. Now, this isn't colour from Smarties or M&Ms or Skittles, I'm afraid. It's colour from naturally vibrantly colourful vegetables, so things like a red tomato or a deep purple aubergine or eggplant or bright orange sweet potatoes or vibrantly green broccoli. You kind of get the picture. Now, you want this colour for two reasons. Number one is that these phytonutrients and the polyphenols feed your good bacteria, and as you know, a healthy, happy gut with good bacteria is an important foundation for healthy, happy skin. Number two is that these colourful compounds actually travel to your skin itself, and they hang out there where they help to provide you with antioxidant protection, but they also give you a natural glow. And who doesn't want that? Colour is so important that I literally want your plate to look like, a chopped up rainbow, and we'll talk about how to do that in a minute. So these are the 4 principles to keep in mind every time you're putting together a meal or snack. That's fat, fibre, protein and colour. Now, as mentioned, some foods will traverse one or more of these principles or categories. So for example, oily fish is both a great source of protein and a great source of healthy fat. Or we can look at nuts and seeds. These are fantastic because they cover fibre, healthy fat and protein. So if one food covers lots of these principles or lots of these categories, that's great. It just makes your life easier. So let's look at what this looks like in practice when you're putting together a meal or a snack. Okay, so what we're looking at here are our 4 principles, and let's take a meal as an example. So I know I have some chicken to use up, so that's going to cover off my protein. Now, I'm going to serve it with some whole grain rice, which covers off my fibre component. Now for the colour, I'm going to throw together some delicious roasted Mediterranean vegetables. Now they also provide fibre, obviously, but for this purpose, we're putting it in our colour category. And then I'm looking at that and thinking, okay, I still need some healthy fat with my meal. So I'm going to drizzle it all in extra virgin olive oil. Let's do another one. This time a plant-based meal. So I have some lentils. I'm going to make a lentil salad. And as you know, lentils cover off both protein and fibre. But looking at that, I know I need some colour, so I'm going to pair it with some colourful mixed leaves. And then looking at that again, I know that I still need to get some healthy fat in, which is going to help my skin and also make the meal more satisfying. So I'm going to pair it with some toasted walnuts, which actually cover healthy fat and protein. And if I was really hungry, I could also serve that with some whole grain bread, for example, which would be yet more fibre. As you can see, it's pretty easy. So let's do some snacks now. I want to eat an apple, and that's great because that covers off both my fibre and my colour. But I know that I still need fat and protein for my skin, so I'm going to eat that apple with some almonds. It really is that easy. Let's do another one. So I know I have some hummus in the fridge that I need to use up. So hummus is a great source of both healthy fat and protein and fibre actually, but for this purpose we'll focus on the fat and protein component. Now I could pair that hummus with some crackers, but that's not going to provide me with that much colour. So instead I'm going to eat that hummus with some baby carrots, which covers off both my fibre and my colour. So as you can see, eating this way really favours eating whole natural foods most of the time. But you know, this is real life. You're not going to be able to hit this all of the time, and that's fine. Just take the 80-20 approach. So 80% of the time, think of your 4 principles. Think fat, fiber, protein, and colour every time you eat. The other 20% of the time, have the cookie, have the piece of birthday cake, have the bag of chips. You know, life is for living, and we should enjoy our food for more reasons than just its nutritional content some of the time. What I will say though is that once you start eating this way, it becomes so easy and really intuitive, and it's really powerful because as well as helping to keep your skin plump and smooth and clear and youthful looking, you're also going to be helping to regulate your appetite, give yourself loads more energy, and it has a knock-on positive effect on lots of other health parameters. So it really is a win-win-win-win-win situation. So to recap, for good skin or for great skin, you want to think fat, fiber, protein and colour every time you eat. Now the 5th principle, you don't have to think about necessarily every time you eat, it's more something to think about every day, and we will cover that in part 2 in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time for more videos on nutritional skincare.